But yeah, it was the summer after 8th grade, and Tropical Moose had just opened. I think they'd been there for 2 years. So this was 2013 or no, 2003. Excuse me, 2003. Anyways, yeah. So I worked there all through high school and college, and I was the manager of the stand. Awesome. And I loved it, and it helped me too. I was super shy, painfully shy, in all growing up, and it was like one of those jobs that, like, looking back, I think, oh my gosh, actually, like, it seems so simple. I was just making snow cones and taking orders and stuff, but I was so shy and like uncomfortable that it forces you to
talk to people.
And you were
talk to people, and I was like managing people,
Yeah.
And so, looking back now as an adult, I realized like what an impact it had on me. And I love it. And in 2020, when we first started Honeybees, the opportunity came about that Tropical Moose was going to be for sale, and I was like very excited about that, and something that I thought about even when I was like 16 working there. I thought, oh, maybe I could.
Hi guys, it's your host Marissa Farrell.
And I'm Luke Farrell, and we're excited for another episode of the STL Bucket List Show. Of course, as always, this episode is presented by our new partners at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. They're the largest funder of arts and art programs in the city, and we want to showcase why St. Louis is an arts town. And of course, we're recording this at Half Coast Studios. So if you guys have a podcast or you want to start a podcast, definitely hit those guys up at Half Coast Studios. So without further ado, we got the owners of Honeybees Biscuits, probably the best damn biscuit I've ever had in my life. And I'm not lying. This biscuit's huge.
That's right.
It's one of those sandwiches or those biscuits you get where like it's really hard to bite it the first time, but then once you get into it, then you can kind of like, get it. So we got Mike.
Gotta maneuver.
We got Mike and Meredith Shadwick. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
Thanks
us.
for being here. We're excited.
Yeah.
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so we're just going to start off where you guys could tell us about like your upbringing, whether that's like your connection to St. Louis or not St. Louis, where you went to school, things like that.
Yeah, sure. Well, should I start?
Yeah.
So I grew up in Kirkwood,
Okay.
where our soon-to-be restaurant will be. Went to Westminster College in Fulton, Missouri, and then I lived in D.C. and Boston for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I think 4 years combined. And then I moved back to St. Louis in 2015. I did some fundraising consultants and some different things. So, grew up in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I grew up in Belleville.
Okay.
Went to college, played football, wrestled, played football in high school. Let's see. After college, I was in sales, started a couple different businesses. Tried to start an insurance business for a long time. Probably a lot of the wrong things. And then finally we found this.
Live and you learn.
Yeah.
Got to try it all out.
It really though seems like this has just been forever, like Honeybees and Tropical Moose and everything. It just seems like it's been like it's hard to even think about what I did before this really.
Right. And it's only been 2
2 years.
We just had our 2-year anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's July right now. So that's amazing.
That's amazing. So 2 years, and you guys started during the pandemic, so that's just a crazy story in itself. But I want to hear a little bit more about your love story and getting together. So you guys met somehow, some way, and now you're business owners together. Let's hear a little bit about more about the love story.
Yes.
'Cause I read some things on the website, but
Yes. So we met on Bumble in 2015?
2015 or 16.
Something like that. Yeah. So we met on Bumble. And I thought he was pretty cute. Our first date.
Good start.
That's
Good
good.
start.
Good start.
It was a good start. Yeah. So that's how we met, and we got married a year and a half.
We
later.
definitely met in 2016 because we got married in 2017.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
right. You're right.
And so we dated for like 9 months, and I proposed. I think we met in May of 2016. I proposed in January of 2017.
a man that
Yep.
knows what he wants.
Yeah,
That's true. That is so
Didn't
true.
waste any time.
Yes, that's right.
So you met on Bumble, which probably leads to
A lot of this, yeah.
Let's hear
Well,
about it.
yeah. So when we first got engaged, I mean, we would get bee
All kinds of bee
towels,
stuff.
bee spatulas,
Oh, like it always meant
aprons.
something to you.
Yeah, like everything had a bee on it. And so we always just, really loved stuff with bees because we met on Bumble.
Yes.
And then Honeybees came about really because Mike had just gotten into the food industry and absolutely loved it. Pandemic hits, everything shuts down.
As we know, right?
Yeah.
The whole
Yes.
world.
It was just a really weird time. So everything is shut down, and he's like finally found what he really loves, and you can't do it.
Yep.
And so then we started talking. Well, maybe we could do something, and what would that look like? Should we do meals? Should we do spices and sauces? We had a lot of different ideas on what we could do, but we just kept coming back to it. I'm like, but your breakfast food is so good because he's always
It was the
made
gravy.
Yeah, he's always made incredible breakfast.
That's why she said
The
yes.
gravy guy, the gravy guy over here.
Gravy.
Yeah, and we just kept coming back to like, oh man, but the gravy is really good. Like, is there a way we could do this? And the first batch of biscuits was kind of rough. I made the first batch and they were a little bit rough. They were like really flat. It took a while to get that pop.
I don't know how to make a biscuit, so anything you would
Those
make,
canned
you're
ones.
winning.
Yeah, those canned ones.
From the can.
Yeah.
That's what I used to use. Those big grands.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
The biggest ones you can buy.
Big
Yeah.
round ones.
So then you would always put honey on your biscuits when you
Right.
made biscuits and gravy. So then we thought, well, maybe we'll
Yeah, because I always
put honey
honestly
on them.
Yeah.
always loved honey. And my aunt used to,
Honey.
and her husband had beehives for a long time. So we'd get honey from them
That's
down in
so
Arkansas once a year or so. That was kind of fun.
Yeah. So then, we realized that, okay, our biscuits and gravy are really good. That's what we should do. And we started giving them to like friends and family and trips.
Mhm.
We would have everybody try them, and everybody loved it. And so we thought, okay, we could figure out how to serve this to the public somehow. And that's kind of where the name came in, because we needed a name. What are we going to call this? And
We got all the bee themed stuff.
and we met on Bumble, and we
met
just
on Bumble.
kind of gone through this whole like, it's in the middle of the pandemic. Everyone I feel like was realizing that they needed to do what made them actually happy.
Yeah.
And
It wasn't just us. It was very common. Yeah.
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people had so much time to think. And
Right.
so you were like, okay, am I happy with what I'm doing? Because that's like Luke's story is he was working and he was not loving what he was doing. And he's like, there's a bigger purpose for me. So
yeah.
I'm just telling your story a little bit, but yeah.
No, I agree with that though, because you start
Yeah.
to realize what's more important because you're like, everything was taken away from you. So you're like, well, my job was taken away from me. I love doing it. How do I create my own
yeah.
Yes.
job?
Absolutely.
And even if it's a huge risk, when it comes to the money that you invested, obviously there was probably moments where you guys thought, I'll just go back to my job. We'll just do this on the weekend, or we'll just do this for fun. So tell us about like a little bit of the ups and downs, like in that beginning process when you started.
Oh man.
Well, there was
It was hard.
there was
really
just,
was.
it was a lot of work and a lot of sleepless nights where then we were doing something we didn't necessarily like know what we weren't really good at it yet. So you'd have that really long night and then a long day, even though sales would go well. Like, all right, we could have done this and this better. And so there was just a lot of recognizing like mistakes we made that cost us so much time and money. That I would say for me, that was the most frustrating and the lowest point was like we'd have an event, bring the wrong menu or stage the menu wrong, and we would not do very well, which did happen a few times.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. Well, and now we have a really awesome team that makes this all happen. But it was just us, and we'd do prep on Fridays, and then we would be in the kitchen at least by 3 a.m. So we're getting up at
Saturday morning,
2 or 2:30 on Saturday.
which is still about the
know.
same. Which is still about the same, but
It's
now we don't have to
easier
remember
now.
Yeah.
everything.
Now you have the
You got a
systems down.
system in
Yeah, we have
place.
systems
Yeah.
in place.
And you're
Yeah.
confident. When you have systems, you're more confident about
Yeah.
what you're bringing
Right.
out there. You're confident to have two markets going at once. When
Yes.
at one point you were probably like scared, like what's going to go on when I'm not there or
Yeah.
whatnot.
And just
Right.
remembering, there's so much equipment and stuff that you've got to remember to bring with you. It's not like, oh my gosh, we forgot the spatula. So we got to run home and get a spatula or something like that,
Sure, Yeah.
but man, it was definitely very exhausting, but there was never a moment where I thought, okay, this is too much. We shouldn't do it. At least for me, I just always felt like there was something, like there's something really cool about what we're doing. Like we just got to keep going, and we would sell out, and
we would have a really bad week of whatever we were doing, and then Saturday we'd sell out. So fortunately for us, we were lucky enough that we would still do well. The sales would still go really well. People would show up as long as we made it there with the product.
Even if we were a little late.
Yeah, so in that sense, there was a
out.
lot of ups and downs just because it could be a terrible week and we could still have a good week. And for us, I think we're good at focusing on the positive. We've done that with our team. We always talk about, what did we do right? We don't like blame each other. So we don't really spend a lot of time focusing on the bad. You know what I mean?
The mess ups. You're like, well, going forward, this is what we do.
Yeah, how can we be better? Let's move on. Have fun.
What can we do better next time?
You have to have that mindset when it's your business. You have to, because otherwise, then you're your own enemy. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
Beat yourself up. You can beat yourself up constantly about everything.
Right.
But just learning from those mistakes and being better the next week.
So then you were in the restaurant industry already, and then you said sales. Then
I did insurance sales for a long time. Started that in college. And then my sister and I tried to start a wound care business together. We had a really cool idea, but not enough money and time to catch up to anybody else,
Yeah.
What else? I worked for a venture capital firm selling trucking cameras for the trucking industry. That was interesting. Just a lot of jobs that I thought I was supposed to be doing, wearing a suit, going to present product to somebody, trying to make a commission, trying to make a lot of money. Like it was always focused on numbers. And it just wasn't my thing, I did well in insurance. It was more relationship based. So I did that for a long time and enjoyed it, but it wasn't as much about having to sell as it was being a resource, being a relationship person. That's what we find a lot more in food too, is we have our PARs and we have our numbers. Like we know how much we need to sell to be successful, but we feel like it's more about quality and making a good product.
Sure.
People they'll show up.
Yeah, 100%. And so then what was that like when you guys were like, we're going to go into business together? Because obviously I
don't
pandemic.
think we knew initially either.
Like how did that,
you didn't know.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
when we started this, so I had the first job I took was Emo's, and I was delivering pizza. And then I got the job at Winslow's Table where I was connected to somebody there, found out they had a job available. So when we first started this, I was always expecting to hopefully go back to Winslow's Table and work there on the weekdays or Emo's and then just do this on the weekends. We always thought it would be a Saturday market stand. We didn't realize this was going to be
a restaurant
or let alone a food truck or
an employee like people and and employ yourselves.
Yeah.
But I do remember, I don't know when it was. Was it the September of 2020? That at one point we talked and I was like, look, I think you need to focus on this full time.
I left Emo's early July.
Oh,
it was actually
like a month or a couple weeks.
It was a month in. It was the same weekend I bought the food trailer.
That's right.
Found the trailer on Craigslist and then went and bought it. And I left Emo's. Now she still had a job, so it wasn't like
you were both
I didn't know
all
I had to.
in.
Yeah, well, it wasn't like we were all in, both of us, but
Right.
it wasn't also like I had to support our family, which fortunately that would have been a lot different story for us if we had to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quick. It was short. It was within a month.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Taking the risk. And that's similar to my story. So I quit my full-time job. I was selling insurance as well.
Oh, no way.
And I
That's
love
funny.
That's why I was like,
sales.
Oh, that's so funny.
I love sales. Like that's why I know that no matter what we do, I'm going to be able to sell because you have to sell. Like no matter what, even if you still have to sell yourselves and sell your brands and brand. Like we're good at branding. But so I left my job February 15th, 2020. I'm left. I'm 23 years old. I'm so hype.
February.
I'm knocking doors. Like for my marketing company, I'm knocking doors down
Yeah.
in St. Louis. Like I'm not knocking, but like walking in, dropping cards off.
For sure.
2 weeks, 3 weeks later, that's when like the world shut down. And I was like, damn, you know,
The
because then all my
worst
friends were
time.
working at home and I was like, that sounds so nice. And I was so jealous because they were still making
Yeah.
money. And then I was making nothing because our business is B2B. So it was like, you know, like no businesses are investing in marketing when they don't even know how long they're going to be closed for. So
Right.
that was difficult, but I'm glad that happened because now like flash forward 2.5, 3 years later, it's like, if that didn't happen, like I wouldn't be able to do the stuff that we're doing today. Like we have full confidence that like we can do anything, whatever, you know, because we have those skills that were built during those tough times. But
Right.
but yeah, it sucked because I was like, man, like I just left like a good job and now COVID hit and I called them back. I was about to go back, but if I would have went back, you'd never know what happened. You know?
You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I didn't. And that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's
Like
awesome.
you bought that, you know, and took the investment, but like Marissa was able, you were in college at that time, weren't you?
About to graduate.
Yeah. So we
Yeah,
were
'cause
like
I
down
graduated
bad.
December.
Yeah.
We were down
2020.
real bad,
Yeah.
you know, and we had our own apartment. So,
Yeah.
but it was fun living on like $1,000 a month. Like it was crazy.
We were not even mad
can't even
about.
imagine.
I mean, we, you know, the puzzles, the walks. We were
We were
like
in a different
we're
life.
fine.
We didn't have kids. We weren't like married. We weren't even
Yeah.
engaged. We were in college. We had nothing
we weren't
expected
even
from us.
engaged.
But like still, it's like that's why I salute people that are in their like 30s and 40s when they make these steps because like you're leaving like a lot more on the table. There's always more that other people are going through.
Yeah, we
so
didn't have a lot to lose.
yeah, we had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So it was cool. It was cool. But yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
that was interesting. So similar to you guys. So you bought the trailer. That's July 2020.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
It was. I
then,
think it was like my birthday weekend that I went and picked it up.
yeah.
How hyped were you when you got that?
Really excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were hyped.
Super
Because that's like the
excited.
first step. You're like, I'm
Yeah.
getting the
Yeah.
truck.
But then we
Yeah.
thought, okay, well now we have this trailer.
What do we do?
What do we do?
What do we do now?
Yeah.
You know,
Because
what
we
does it
still-
look like?
Sure.
How do
we
we
still
make
don't
it?
know what we're doing at this point. I also
Hey,
like to
I
know.
swear.
It's a secret.
That's facts.
I love this.
Yeah.
So
Just
cool.
figure out as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got this. I mean, it was pretty ugly. Don't you think? It was ugly.
We'll drop a picture when the episode
Yeah.
drops.
Yeah, we-
Before and
we'll drop a
after?
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
before-
before.
because
Yeah.
it
Yes.
was just this white. It was a.
It was just a white
like
trailer.
a Harley Davidson.
Oh, bike trailer.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
yeah,
had metal plating on the sides, on all three sides,
Yeah.
which we covered up.
yeah.
Yeah, it was rough. It was all rusty.
Yeah.
Very rusty, actually. We had to.
Do you remember how
Do a
much you
lot of-
paid for it?
She was a rusty girl.
Like
Yeah,
$5,000.
we paid
which is
$5,000.
really good deal,
Yeah.
actually. We
For
had
that
a
trailer,
really good
yeah.
deal. On
Yeah.
it.
And it already had this. Like it did already have the 3 compartment sinks, the hand sink,
Oh,
and
nice.
all the countertops.
Okay, because I was
So the
going to
show
ask if
was
you had
there.
to like
Yeah.
put all that
build
into
out.
We had to
it.
put
Had to
a
make
water-
it a little nicer.
Yeah.
Well, no, we had to put in water.
Oh, that's
Water-
right.
Water
The
tank.
tank. Yeah, you're
It
right.
had gray water tank, but it didn't have a water tank.
Mhm.
I think we put a new hot water heater in, all new electricity. So we did a lot. I took the coolers out, the drink coolers, and just added shelf space.
Nice.
So we did a lot more. We just had some friendly help.
Yeah.
Which made it a lot
people-
easier.
yeah,
You had some
people
bored
that we-
Come on,
Like,
come
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Whoever wants to help us.
Well, John, his wife Nancy, from Hope Soapery, they vend at the Kirkwood Farmers Market, and John did all the work
Yeah.
because he's handy. He's got a auto shop in town, so he did a lot of it for us, and
Nice.
definitely
Electric
gave us a
work.
good deal.
Yes. Yeah.
And your guys' branding, and I said this before you guys came in, like that's what attracted me to you because I'm a big marketing guy. So like tell us about that brand process, you know, and like creating this amazing like black with like the
This is
beak.
kind of a perfect segue.
It is a perfect segue.
So it's funny. Meredith came up with all the logo. She made it herself on
Did.
Canva or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
On my computer.
She made it,
Yeah.
and
Canva's
was
great.
actually this is really funny too because we just got our sign and awning put on the building not
I
too
saw,
long ago.
I saw your
Love
post
it.
on
Thank
Instagram.
you.
It looks good.
Well,
The
so-
minimalistic, just
If
Yeah.
you go to the bottom
the
right
biscuits
corner,
plus
where the
good eats.
the biscuit plus good eats where the parentheses is or the bracket,
Yeah.
it's the spacing on one side is different than the other, and it's kind of funny because when Meredith made our logo, she made it and it was basically like not perfect.
No, I'm not. I am not a graphic designer. I don't know.
quote unquote mistake, but
I just thought it looked even,
Uh-huh.
at least on my computer.
right. But when you blew it up, you're like,
Wait a
and we
minute.
didn't have it blown up until we had the sign put on. So we got all the mock-ups and everything, and it went up wrong. And the day of, it's fun because the day of it went up wrong. She was up there. We all fell in love with it. Thought it was incredible. And then at like 7 p.m., she texts me and says, it's crooked. The bottom.
No, it was because the bracket.
The bracket.
I have to look
To
it up.
back bracket
I
to
just need to-
biscuit and then bracket to eat.
There was an extra space on there.
There's
more
extra
spacing.
space. Yeah. And
I'm surprised the mock. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
I
It's
was
hard to notice.
looking at it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is not,
She was so upset.
it's not perfect. And I really was upset. So we had the
Of
sign
course,
guy
it's
come
a
out
Huge investment.
and I'm like, what is going on here? Like these are not even, it's not perfect. Like it's not symmetrical. And so Mike comes up and the guy's like, he pulls up his computer and he's looking at it. He goes, well, this is your logo. I didn't change anything about your logo. And I like burst into tears because
I messed it up.
because I realized I'm like, oh my gosh, I am not a graphic designer. Like I didn't know that you had like that you should measure,
Yeah.
to make sure. And I'm just like, I am sobbing because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, we spent all this money on this sign and it does look great, but it's not perfect.
Right.
But Mike was really sweet and he's like, I love it even more because you made it. And it's not
Yeah,
perfect,
and
but
it's
it's
kinda
perfect
cool.
to me. So
Well, if nobody
I don't
noticed
think
it besides you that day, and you probably would have
I
never
mean,
noticed it, then it's
who's
cool.
gonna
And you made
notice?
it. So how much more, like you said, when I make some, like when you, like I made this logo, like I love it because now it's like blown up. Like it's just,
You see
even
it.
though it's not a crazy logo, it's just when you make it, it's great. And when everybody does stuff too. But yeah, I like your guys' branding. I told you that like about the social media.
yeah, thank you.
And you guys have grown a lot of followers pretty quickly. Like it's hard in the
I know,
restaurant
it's
industry,
crazy.
in the like restaurant game, to grow followers. It takes commitment. You didn't think that was going to be another part of your job was content, but
no.
Or at least that it would be, or at least it would blow up this much. Or like
Yeah.
you said, we have a lot of followers and it's insane. We really love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's something new because I remember when we posted you guys the first time, like your page like blew up. It doesn't do that all the time though. Like sometimes we'll post like a new pizza place and like it's just not just another pizza place, but it's just a pizza place. Like the followers don't jump. But like I looked at your page after we posted you.
Yeah.
That's like the real test is like, hey, when like
Does it? Yeah.
when Feast does an article or Sauce does an article, how much do we gain? Because people are like, oh, this is new. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like,
our phone will just be
go.
blowing
Yeah.
up
Oh
like
my gosh,
crazy.
yeah. And I remembered too when you guys shared because we were very excited. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden you start getting
Yeah.
all these followers.
You just
The
refresh.
the Honeybee
Yeah.
song. Do you know that song?
Yes.
Of course.
I love that song.
It's-
It's a good one.
It's so sweet.
Well, I don't, and we really think that like that story, I think is kind of perfect because like we've really come up with it ourselves, so it really is genuinely just us having fun and
cute.
putting
Being
everything out there
ourselves.
and just being us, yeah.
Yeah.
So that it kind of makes it even cooler that we didn't like.
And I think it's pretty impressive how like good your guys' food is so far when you never like had that much extensive cook. Like you worked at Winslow's, which is an amazing place. Like
Unreal,
you probably
yeah.
learned a lot just from working with those guys.
I
over
did,
there.
yeah.
Galena's and all those.
Yeah, it was a really good place.
And that's a breakfast. That's like a breakfast.
Breakfast,
spot.
brunch,
Yeah.
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 They do dinner too. I never worked dinner. I only did
Mhm.
breakfast.
Yeah, they're crushing it too. They got a couple other restaurants. Like,
Yeah, I
have you
saw
tried that
that.
taco place?
No, we
do?
want to.
Oh, it
That,
looks
and then
really
I just
good.
saw
Right.
another
It
one they
is
announced
really good,
yesterday
yeah.
or the day before.
Yeah, in Clayton.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that looks really cool too.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask like how you learned how to make these biscuits so good. Like you said, the gravy. That's what made her fall
Right.
in love. So
right. It started with the gravy.
it started with gravy.
Yeah.
Starts and ends with gravy.
So like what like how did you learn to cook? Because you were like driving for emails, you're doing all this. Like how did you guys learn to make these biscuits and then add the honey? Like it's just amazing.
Well, I think I'll let you start because Mike's been trying to cook since he was about 3.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
like love it.
I've been cooking
Yeah.
forever, yeah.
Okay.
And it was before a few years ago, it was more just like cooking, just go in the kitchen, make some food. A few years ago, in between one of my endeavors, I like started taking notes and measuring recipes and taking YouTube videos a little bit more seriously, not just like watch it, retain it, make food later. So I would say that's probably started 2018, 2017, where I really started
Yeah.
focusing,
Studying and kind of getting
more
into
and
it, yeah.
taking it seriously. But the biscuits, so the gravy is like really creamy. And so the biscuits that she was using early on were flat and round. Meredith would make them all. And I just wanted like this tall, cakey, but caramelized on the outside with a crunch on top biscuit. And I would glaze hers with honey butter, which I've always done since I was younger. If I ever made biscuits, always put honey on them. And then I like ask her, because I never baked, how did you make these biscuits? What's in them? What does this? What does that? We start researching what the ingredients do, looking at the science behind baking powder versus baking soda.
How it reacts with fat.
One of them we don't use at all, but we can't tell you. No, I'm just kidding. We don't use baking soda at all. But yeah, so just like the fat timing and how it reacts with acid and what helps the biscuit rise, and just like going through this huge crash course of what makes a biscuit the way I wanted it so that it would soak up with the gravy. And that was the whole intention early on, was pair it with gravy, keep everything really simple, because we didn't know what we were doing and we could handle one product. But if we had started with biscuits and gravy, sandwiches, salad, egg dishes, like it would have been a mess and we would have not succeeded. So focus, keep it locked in, and then just be really good at one, add a little bit over time. I think it was 30 days or so, maybe a little bit less. We had our first special. But yeah, we just kept it simple and focused on the recipe a lot. We changed our biscuits probably 10 times in the first year.
We did change the recipe. And I do remember that first time I made like that, like what you were looking for. Of like
I lost it. Yeah.
Like a perfect.
Like the Instagrammable one.
Yeah, like
so
the
big.
layers were there. It was tall.
Yeah.
It was like the right color. I was so excited. I was very,
and
very
now you
excited.
guys are just like, you guys are just dialed in now. Like you just, I mean, obviously you can always get better, but like now you're like, okay, this works. And
yes.
And
yeah,
that's
and
just a good
it's
feeling.
a cool recipe too, because you can alter. I mean, you can add in blueberries or rosemary or garlic cheddar chive. You know, it's the same base, and then you can add in all these different
flavors.
You know, so we've done like pumpkin, chocolate chip,
you guys
a
did the
lot
Pride
of
one
different.
Too, didn't you?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Pride Pops.
Yeah, we did little Pride Pops.
We didn't do Pops this year because we didn't have the things, but yeah, the Pride biscuits.
The blueberry ones, I seen like a
Those are
video
my
of you making
favorite.
those, and like just the colors, like the deep purple bluish color, like it just looks so good. And I've never tried your blueberry yet. I just had the breakfast
Blueberry's
sandwich.
good.
And the chili bombs, guys. Oh my goodness.
Get you some of those.
Oh my.
Chili's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do these gravy bombs. It's our gravy inside, rather than the chili.
Yeah, those
But-
are fun.
So is that your favorite thing to make? Is gravy? Like just
Eggs might, gravy or eggs.
Okay.
Either one.
That's what you gave me. You gave me a sample of
the
the
soft
egg.
soft
scrambled
scrambled
eggs.
eggs.
Soft scrambled, and it
Yeah.
was just like a pure, like a, just
Like
like,
an
a nice,
egg puree.
Yeah,
Almost, yeah.
like it wouldn't say like pure, like close to it, but yeah, it was nice. So let's kind of shift that to the menu. You guys have a restaurant coming out pretty soon.
Yes.
You know, we were just talking about the sign. It's in Kirkwood, which means a lot probably for you, you know, being from Kirkwood. And Kirkwood, I feel like has been, every day I hear of new places opening up there. It's becoming this budding like foodie destination for people, you know. Our friends Four Hands they're opening up right down there by Billy G's,
Yeah,
which
we're
is going to
excited
be
about
really
that.
cool, really cool train station.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about the restaurant. What do we expect when we go there? What's going to be different? What's going to be the same from the food truck?
what's the vibe like when you go inside? Like how would you
Yeah.
describe? You know, just the design of it all.
So the vibe, I'll let you describe the vibe. I'll stick to like the menu.
You're the vibes person?
Yeah. The vibes
I'm
girl.
like the aesthetics person.
The menu's pretty simple, honestly. We've got biscuits and gravy, sandwiches like we do now. We do have like an egg dish, which is the soft scrambled eggs is going to be our primary standard egg. And then a salad and probably chili or a soup every day. But other than that, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Like 7 items on our menu.
Nice.
Very similar to what we have now. And
Yeah, we're not
specials.
really changing like the presentation, the way we pack the food, the way we serve it. Everything's pretty much going to be packaged to go. We don't do dine in. We don't have table service or anything like that. We've got a lot of probably 100, 110 ish seats total. So we have a pretty good amount of seating inside and out. But yeah, it's all what do we call that style?
Fast premium.
Fast
I mean,
premium.
yeah.
Like you walk up to the counter, order.
Walk up and
Yeah.
order.
No
Down on
waiters,
your
no
own.
waitress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know, that's nice.
Yeah,
And
so you can either get your food and enjoy it there or take it to go, you know, whichever the
Perfect.
customer wants. But yeah, I mean, we want it to be a place where people really enjoy to come and it makes them happy and feels good. And all of the look of it is really just kind of simple
Mm-hmm.
and elegant. A lot of white and black. We just put on black gingham awnings. That I was very excited about.
Yeah.
Which we've had those like that. Our little farmer's market stand had black gingham tablecloths, and our food truck has a little tiny awning that my mom made that's black gingham that's similar to what's on the restaurant now. So it'll be pretty similar on the inside. We have a honeycomb. The order counter is a black honeycomb.
Sealed concrete floors.
Yeah, concrete floors. A lot of
Like
black and
homey.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
So it's
not
not overpowering.
Yeah.
But nice to look at.
too much decor.
Clean.
I'd say the signs and awnings are the majority of the decor. I mean, we do have
those
a
were
mural
really
we're
important.
working on the wall inside. One of the walls we're working
Mural
on a
would be
mural.
awesome.
Yeah, mural would be
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
It's like a St. Louis landscape.
Just like
Little
our
bees.
coffee cup. Have you guys seen our coffee cups?
No,
The
we should've
logo
brought
or
one.
the design? Yeah, we should have brought a cup.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of probably what we'll have on the wall is that mural.
Yeah.
In black with like black skyline with
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
bees in it. And
Yeah.
stuff
It's a
like
white
that.
background.
That's gonna be super cool. But
Yeah.
like you said, minimalistic. Like people want an experience nowadays, and we talk like
Yeah.
about that all the time. Like we go and spend money at places. Like you might spend $3 more for this place, but it's because of the experience. It's because of what goes into everything. Like these coffee shops, like they're amazing. Like every time you go to a coffee shop, you're like, I only spent $5, but it's like amazing in here.
Yeah.
It's really
but the
cool,
effort
yeah.
that goes into and people,
Everything.
you have to, because people in St. Louis, like the competitors they're putting effort into, even if it's minimalistic, like your guys' place. And you're in Kirkwood, so there used to be a restaurant there. It was the taco place.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us about that. Like when you guys were looking, when was that moment when you were like, all right, we need a physical location? Because you said you never intended for that to happen.
Well, yeah, and we just never really,
Right.
when we first started, we just didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like if people would
Even like
even like it, or
Yeah.
we just didn't know.
Sure.
But I have always liked that corner building.
Well, right after the food truck launch last year, because we launched the food truck in 2021, and then the market started up late March or early April.
And you were just at Kirkwood?
We were just at
Okay.
Kirkwood, yeah. We had planned on going to Tower Grove, but we were like starting in July or something, which we wish we had done it earlier in the year. But yeah, so we were doing just Kirkwood, and I think it was like our first week or first couple weeks back at the market. We've already been looking, right? I mean, I've been looking for buildings for a month or two, just on a whim. Like we'd love to have a spot.
motivation,
Yeah,
motivates you. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this is what it would
Just
cost.
always forward thinking, now's a
what
good time to get
opportunities are
property.
Yeah.
A lot of commercial property, not residential property, but there's a lot of stuff coming available. But actually I called the landlord because she was renting office space from him, and we met at the building across the street, which used to be like a woodworking shop. And back then it was like spring, and we didn't even talk about this building. We just talked about this woodworking shop, and he was asking me what we were looking for. I said, well, something similar to that building across the street. It's white brick, black fencing. He kind of laughed it off, didn't really say anything about it. Months go by, and we reconnected, and he calls me and he says, that building we were talking about, by the way, well, the lease might be available, and we just jumped on it.
Yeah.
We had to wait for them to work some stuff out, but yeah, immediately committed.
Yeah.
As soon as we found out, it was probably October, November last year.
And that's a bigger, like you said, 110 seats. I mean, that's a nice
mostly
patio.
Mostly
the patio,
yeah.
The patio and the inside are the same size.
Okay.
The inside is not very big.
So just like your farmer's market, like you guys are really gonna pop off, and just like tropical, like everything pops off in those
those
months.
5 months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like you better go hard in
Yeah.
those 5 months.
yes, exactly.
And the inside is probably 80% baking and production.
Okay, that's what I was gonna
because,
ask you
it
about
takes
is the prepping.
a lot
that
of
goes into it.
space. Yeah,
Yes,
we were looking for an offsite kitchen that was the first thing we were looking for. Actually, was an offsite commissary. Maybe we'd find somewhere we can bake all the biscuits and then ship them to locations, and then our locations would just be more short order cooking. But again, going back to like our identity, it just wasn't us. Like it wasn't who we were. It made sense for it to be on site.
Yeah, and too, where people can kind of see the biscuits being rolled out. And
Yeah,
There's
that whole
such a
experience.
feeling about
Yeah.
that. Like when
Yeah.
you're the customer and you see all that like behind, you're like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And that's
it's a
like
good
that's like your
experience.
HQ.
It is.
That's your
Yep.
that's your HQ. And then if you have smaller locations,
Yeah.
different spots, and like you said, like little, like where you ship the. So do you guys don't ship to any other restaurants right now, or do you?
We do ship to one every week still, Bethle's in
Okay.
downtown St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah.
So you can get our biscuits there. They
On
have a
Saturdays.
3.5 by 3.5. Our normal is a 3 by 3.
Mhm.
So theirs is a little bit bigger too.
Mhm.
But we've been partnered with them for a
Since we-
Bethle's. They got a good beer collection, beer list too. I think they're.
Why do I feel like I've been
So
It's like the oldest. I think it's. Is it the oldest restaurant in
might
St.
be,
Louis?
yeah.
And they
there?
had
Do
like the
live
first.
music.
Yeah, and I think
Sometimes,
they were
yeah.
one of the first places to have a St. Patrick's Day
Oh.
Yeah, they were like involved
celebration.
in
I mean, it's
starting
like
St.
100 years
Patty's Day.
old.
Old.
Nice.
Okay.
It's
Family
really
I
run
went
still.
there.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
same
That's
family.
a good first place to start.
Yeah,
Like, it
yeah.
feels good when you drop them or when you send them or drop them
Yeah.
off. And so is that a goal of you guys, is to like to be like kind of like Union Loafers? They like, you always see them delivering stuff around the
We
city.
don't
gosh,
even
their stuff
know.
is
I
good.
mean,
maybe we
Union
will do that. I
Loafers
don't
is
know. Yeah, their
awesome.
stuff is really good.
Or like
Yeah,
what
everybody
about
uses
selling
Union Loafers
like
stuff, dude.
Yeah.
They have it
Them
plugged
and
in.
Companion are
Yeah,
everywhere.
Companion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
or like selling honey like on the shelf?
We
Yeah.
do want to
Maybe.
have hives eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And a farm and some stuff like that,
That would
but
be-
it's kind of long term.
Yeah. Yeah. Down the road.
down the road. Not yet.
Besides your guys' biscuits, I know like you've probably ate a bunch around the city that you're like, okay, they were killing it. Like, who are some, like, just a few? Like, it is the bucket list show. So like, what are some
Yeah.
other biscuits that you guys like?
Well, but I think before this, one of my favorites to go to is Russell's down on Macklin.
Yes.
so
That's
good.
They have
right
a
by
really
our
good
house,
biscuit.
so we can walk.
Oh,
there.
We
that's
walked to the one on
awesome.
Macklin, and I love how it comes
I
out
like
with the
that
3 different.
location.
It comes
Yeah,
with the
it's
butter.
cute. It's a cute little street.
And they have the same thing where it's like really
It's a
aesthetically
huge
pleasing.
biscuit.
It's crunchy, but then
Yeah.
when you get it in the inside, it's like, oh my gosh! Like,
Yeah.
how do they like you said? It's like so
really
a
good.
lot of
Crunch on the
practice.
out.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of practice.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Russell's is good.
I mean, Winslow's Table always had a good biscuit too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Winslow's Table, they have good biscuits. They're a lot different.
Yeah.
But it was like, this happened so fast. I mean, I love Winslow's Table food, but I didn't really eat a lot of their biscuits when I worked there because I wasn't in the bakery
Mhm.
Yeah,
at all. I don't who else has.
I can't even think of anyone.
There was somewhere else, I don't remember, that closed. But it was just one of those things where, oh, you know what? Morning Glory Diner's got good biscuits.
Yes, we love
Morning,
Morning
Glory's
Glory.
awesome. We go there
Where's
a
that?
lot.
It's on
Cherokee.
Cherokee.
Okay.
It's a cool little diner.
Yeah.
And their
Okay.
food is awesome.
Good staff. Food's great. Yeah, food's great. Their fried chicken is awesome. Bethle's has really good biscuits.
Yeah. We're biased on that
Oh,
one, but they're
see
really
that?
good.
That's a good
You gotta
one.
get out there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it was just one of those things where honestly, it's hard to say because everywhere we went, I would always get biscuits and gravy. It was like we always
side
get one for
item.
the table. We always split it.
Mhm.
It was always a side item. It was never really like anybody's main thing. It was
Right.
never like the focus of the food, and it always seemed, not always, but often seemed like it got treated as such. You know,
Right.
it's like how many times do you get a fruit cup and you're like, it's not great.
Right.
Barely
I
touch
wish it was
it,
good.
kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a
So,
side. Yeah,
It's just a side. So
That's what I was gonna say. Like the
the main thing.
competition. So like really, like you guys are innovating and becoming the first, like just basically
just
focus.
biscuits. Yeah. I mean,
just
I
biscuits.
guess so.
Yeah.
I hate
I mean,
to
there's
say
probably
that-
places
I
in
hate
other
to
cities that
leave
do
anybody
it.
off
Yeah.
if there is somebody out there doing it already, but
Yeah.
not that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's kind of cool though, because that's another reason why you have a unique marketing stance, because like not like saying we're the only ones that are doing biscuits, but like we're just focused on making biscuits. So you're continually probably looking at people in other cities and that are doing stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, they're doing cool stuff.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of big ones in other cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times that happens. And we talk to people on the show, like, in St. Louis, we're like a little bit behind some of these like, coasts. So then you look at what people are doing there and what works there. You're like, okay, well, eventually that's going to work here, but it takes time, just like draft beer or IPAs and like craft beers, like used to be like not a thing, but now it's like taking
Right.
our
Yeah.
city by storm. So
Yeah. Well, and everywhere you go to that we go get biscuits, it just seems like it's kind of the same
Mm-hmm.
sit down style. Chick-fil-A has fast food biscuits, but there's not like a lot of
Mhm.
grab and go where you can go grab your food. It's a biscuit, hot breakfast. That's a lot of our catering we hear about is hot food, like getting a hot meal or something. We deliver a hot breakfast. Like people don't get that often.
Sure.
And so I think that's a big advantage for us too, is that you walk up, order, your food's ready immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get the food before walking away. You don't have to stand and wait for the food to come up. That'll be the same in our restaurant too. We don't like queue up tickets or anything. We take a ticket, fill the order right away, and then send people on their way with the food. So it's all about the experience.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So talk to us about the catering side, because you guys do that. And
Yeah.
So like, what's that look like for you guys?
Yeah, we do catering very similar to the way we run our truck. Or we'll deliver the food packaged, ready to go. I don't know.
Is there like certain events like, or like, you know,
We
like
do
that
a
people,
lot of
Like a lot of work parties.
yeah, like a lot
Okay.
of like
Yeah.
corporation, you know, where they want to do. Actually, we did one crazy catering that we did use the food truck for, but we had it was an overnight. It was a company out in
H&J Enterprises.
Jefferson County, I think, and they had 3 different shifts, and they just gotten something exciting happened, and they wanted to treat all their employees, and so they had us come. I think it was like midnight, 3 a.m. and 8 a.m.
You gotta go for each.
And so we served breakfast. I mean, and they didn't. I guess they didn't realize how big our food was, because they got their guys each
3
a
biscuits.
sandwich and 2 biscuits and gravy.
They thought
Like-
it was like
Like, I
A lot
hope
of
this is
food.
the end of their shift,
came and
because
tried
everyone's
it.
going to be
Came and
sleeping.
tried it.
yeah,
They just
yeah.
wanted to go
They're not
big.
gonna want to go to work.
Yeah. So yeah, that was
That food coma.
crazy. So we stayed up all night, and it was our head baker Abby. It was like her first week.
It was our first week.
Like,
it was
it's not
like
always
she was
this.
like,
Welcome to
Sweating,
Honeybees. You're going to be up
sweating.
all night.
It's
To,
actually that's still probably
it's fun.
that could be still our record week of how many biscuits we made, because we had Easter box pickups. This catering
Yes,
order
that was
was
the same.
1,200 or so biscuits, and then
And market on Saturday.
and the markets and
That was her
everything on
first
Saturday.
week.
And
Yeah, and
she
that was
started
she's
her-
probably like, yo, like this is not what it said on the application.
Crazy
She's
week.
ready to work.
right.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
But
that was
she's
a lot of fun.
awesome.
And
so
she's
that's
still with
good.
you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's our head baker.
Nice.
Yeah, so we have
We have a really good team.
Yeah, let's talk about your team.
Yeah,
shout out
Are
to the team.
you
shout out to the team.
hiring
They're
for?
incredible.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're always looking for more people, and yeah, we've got an awesome team, 2 bakers,
Abby and Becca.
Abby and Becca, that are both really way more knowledgeable than I am.
Mhm.
I felt like such an imposter teaching them our
They're
biscuit
smart.
recipe, because I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you guys know way more than
Right.
They're like,
than I
mhm,
do.
mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
Abby's a James Beard Award baker, so she
Nice.
got an award in college or something, went in and cooked in the James Beard kitchen in New York. And Becca used to work at Ashley Christensen restaurants down in North Carolina, which she's I think she's she either has James Beard or
Yes.
Michelin stars or something
Yeah.
crazy. She's a very big time chef. And
And now they're at Honey. No.
and now well, Becca made Nick Jonas's wedding cake.
Yeah,
What?
she did.
Fun. Yeah, used to work at their family restaurant.
Oh my
And
god.
so she made-
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we've got Travis, who's actually was our first employee,
yeah.
who he'd never worked. Well, no, that's not true. He worked at Lambert's in,
He worked
in
at
high school and
Lambert's. He was a
college. He worked at
busboy.
Lambert's, and he's just kind of a
He's our
all around.
GM.
Yeah, he does everything.
Yeah.
And then we just hired Tommy, who will probably be a baker.
Yeah, Tommy's sort of utility right now, does a lot of protein stuff, but yeah, he's working into baking on naturally on the side. He loves baking.
Mhm.
He's making sourdough and
Nice.
different
Yeah.
stuff on his own, so it's kind of
He's
fun.
kind of learning the process.
Watch him develop his passion.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And
Yeah,
we've got Corinne, who will be the barista, and she's kind of the
she's
the
like
face of
The
it.
front house person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's the only person on the team other than Mike that can drive the trailer, back it up,
Hey, so
parallel
she's
park
valuable.
it. Yeah, she's a badass.
yeah, she is.
That's not
They
an
all
easy
are.
task to do. Yeah, so we feel really
Good
we
about
feel
where you're
really
at.
really lucky. Yeah, we've got. I mean, this is an awesome group of people, and there are people too that will do what we do. I mean, we will get up at 3 a.m. and we will serve biscuits out of a food truck with the lines freezing because it's so cold, and they'll do the same thing, which I think is really hard to find.
Yes.
So we definitely feel really lucky and try to take really good care of them.
Yeah, we try. Do
Yeah.
our best.
Yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, building a team is just special because then now you guys are learning from them. Now you're working for more than just yourself. So you're like, okay, now
Right.
like we're you know, it's a motivation thing. And then, like you said, like going to like sit down with them, they're talking about baking for Nick Jonas and all this stuff. And you're like, damn, you're like good. Like,
Yeah.
Crazy.
and they're probably bringing like ideas to you, like to spice things
Yeah.
up. But I like how you guys keep it simple, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's people just want a breakfast sandwich, you know, and how can I make it look great? And then also like simplify that process.
Yes, and taste good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Not leave you hungry.
Yes.
Definitely full after our
Oh yeah,
sandwich.
I think I had to take a nap after
Yeah,
I said
good.
the Piper Plum house. I'm like, oh, that was fun. I'm gonna
That's
go lay down
awesome.
now because my belly's
The
full.
chives were, I remember the chives, like saw,
so
like there was like an aioli on one of them that I had.
And
So,
do you have like different types of butter to put on it, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do at times.
Okay.
We do a honey sea salt like every weekend. It's our most popular. But we've done a roasted. So we roast garlic for the garlic cheddar chive biscuits.
Yeah,
And so if we have extra garlic, sometimes we'll do roasted garlic and herb butter.
nice.
Cherry
Um,
butter, that was really
The
good.
cherry butter, yeah, that was
Ooh.
really good.
It was really good.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
On a cherry
And
biscuit.
that's stuff like that, like where our team, like the jams, butters. Last weekend they made garlic cheddar chive biscuit bombs. Like they'll just come up with stuff with what
extra
we've
stuff
got in
you
the
have.
fridge.
You're
Yeah.
like,
And-
you know, we might as well sell
That's
it while
so
we're
cool.
out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be
And then you're like,
innovative.
try this. That's a test. But if
Yeah.
you're gonna offer it to the restaurant, because that's what you told me about the eggs. You're like, hey, try this because this might be something we do.
Yeah.
You know, or you're just
Yeah,
testing
we
the
were
market.
really hoping that soft scrambled eggs went over well because I love making those so much. So that's like a lot of fun for me.
So how do you figure out if you're gonna like keep it going, like keep it on the menu, just like the feedback from customers, like
Yeah,
when you sell out at the mark, because
Yeah.
that happens pretty
It's very
fast.
grassroots, I guess. I mean, because we're literally sending something out, and if it sells out fast, we're making more of it
Run
the
'em with
next
it.
week.
Yeah. Then we realized, okay, people liked it.
Yeah.
Or maybe this one didn't sell as much. You know, maybe we won't do that one again.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the garlic cheddar chive and blueberry. We pretty much have those every weekend. We've tried changing it up, and like one weekend we'll do a different biscuit and it's not quite as popular, and everybody's asking for the garlic cheddar chive or the blueberry. So sometimes it's hard to take one away, because if you
just
do
have to
it,
add one.
everyone wants it. Yeah.
And you can get a lot of
Yeah.
feedback from nowadays with social. Like if people message you
yeah.
that they
Right.
want something,
Yes.
then, you know, then you know, and you can take
yeah.
feedback in your stories and stuff like that. So
Yeah, we get a lot of that.
it's an interesting time it's the benefits of running it is like the marketing that you get, you know, from that and the word of mouth, like people sharing it and stuff like that. And that's what helps with how your sandwich looks, because it's so Instagrammable. I keep saying that. because
Yeah.
It's
Thank
Instagrammable
you.
for
like,
sure.
I know we
It's
should.
It's
I mean,
huge.
Yes.
You know,
We talked about
Perfect.
having them here, but we didn't have any that
Yeah.
we could bring.
Yeah.
it's all good. Don't worry about
you
it.
got your
I'm not
shirts
upset
on.
at
You got your
anything.
shirts
I'm not
on.
hungry.
Yeah, right.
We could stop by. Saturday's just around the
Because then I had
corner.
that, you know, when like you eat like a Popeyes biscuit and you can't, like you're like getting dry, your mouth's getting dry. I'm like trying to talk while eating the biscuit.
Yeah.
Is that a
exactly.
Popeyes or a Red Lobster biscuit?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're
There's
both
the
pretty
one that are
good
known
though,
for the
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
but there's one that's known that like if you eat there was a guys on like TikTok that would like
Oh,
eat a
get
bunch
all
of them.
dry?
Yeah,
That's so funny.
yeah.
Well, and
That would have been a
that's
fun game to
oh
play.
man, like the cinnamon challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
It's a little
Oh.
dangerous. I think
God.
that
That
was
is
too.
dangerous. That
Right. It's like, this is not a good idea.
No, not the best.
But
So one thing about you, Meredith, is you guys have this snow cone shop that I didn't know about until recently. I seen this
Yes.
article in Feast that they did on you, and I was reading it, and it said something like you work there. So tell us the story on Tropical Moose,
Yes,
because I think
Tropical
everybody
Moose.
wants to know. So
Yeah. So I did work there. Yeah, it was the summer after 8th grade, and my mom made me get a job.
8th grade.
Yeah.
I know that's early.
Damn.
I
All right,
know.
shout out, mom.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little young. But yeah, it was the summer after 8th grade, and Tropical Moose had just opened. I think they'd been there for 2 years. So this was 2013. Or no, 2003. Excuse me. 2003. Anyways, yeah, so I worked there all through high school and college, and I was the manager of the stand.
Awesome.
And I just, yeah, I loved it. And it helped me too. I was super shy, painfully shy in all growing up. And it was like one of those jobs that, like, looking back, I think, oh my gosh, actually, like, it seems so simple. I was just making snow cones and taking orders and stuff. But I was so shy and like uncomfortable that it forces you to
Talk to people.
And you were
talk
managing
to
teams
people.
and
And I was
stuff.
like managing people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so looking back now as an adult, I realized like what an impact it had on me. And I love it. And in 2020, when we first started Honeybees, the opportunity came about that Tropical Moose was going to be for sale. And I was like very excited about that. And something that I thought about even when I was like 16 working there. I thought, oh, maybe I could own something like this someday. Never thinking that it would actually happen. And it's the best little summer spot, you know, in St. Louis. It's crazy because I mean, we'll have people, luckily it's Mike's phone. So he gets phone calls like all 20 a day.
Yeah.
You know, like, is Tropical Moose open? When is Tropical? Especially like leading up to like early May. It's like constantly, when are you opening? When are you opening? And then we open and we get, I mean, we'll sell 6,000 snow cones the first week that we're open. It's kind of,
and the community
wild.
Loves the place, and like you have the story that like you work.
How cute that like you guys really are tied into just like your love story, your community, and I think that's great, and I think people like will really they respond to that. Like you're just personable and like
Thank
sweet.
you.
I love it. So like, how do you see Honeybees impacting the St. Louis community? That's kind of like
that's a good question.
That is
Good
a really
question,
good question.
That's for us. We're kind of like big community people. Part of the reason we started this was just more like being more social for us, you know, and in what we do as our career, like being able to be happier and enjoy who we are, which helps you like just all around and be more personal. It's easy when you're not happy to just shut off and not meet people and things like that. So I think it'll be big for us.
Yeah. And like bringing, you know,
something
you have
different.
like a 5-minute interaction with a customer, but we can like make their day better and have like a fun experience.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that's actually the reason that we serve food the way that we do, where we take your order and give you the food right away. The reason we started doing that was at the Kirkwood Farmers Market early on. One of the things we knew is like in food, your customer acquisition cost is really high. So getting any time to like be face to face with customers it's either really expensive because it's you, so you have to be there physically, or it's hard logistically to work out. So that's why we're like, okay, let's let the line build up. Customers in line will talk to each other. They'll see what people in front of them are ordering. As they walk away, they'll be like, oh, what'd you get? You know, because if we just queue up a bunch of orders and people walk away and spread out, then they're just going to, what do? You just stand around on your phone. You're like awkwardly waiting for your food, not really interacting.
Sometimes waiting for a long time, like sitting there.
And
then you're like, I want to walk back over to check on my line, but like I don't want, maybe they don't hear my name or they're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
and it gives us a chance too to like,
it
you know,
gives you a
just
chance to talk to people.
Customers and
there's a long line. You guys have long lines.
Long lines.
Yeah.
That doesn't stress you out.
But
that probably is like you're probably like
it's fast and it's so worth it.
Oh yeah, we love it. And then I'm always like, oh my gosh, do we have enough biscuits? That's
I think it's
in my head.
Let me tangent
When you
just
see
a
it,
second.
get erased off the chalkboard.
Oh no,
The pain.
I hate to
Tell us about those conversations.
I know. I
because
always
that
feel so
hurts.
bad.
It hurts.
Yeah.
I know.
It hurts. Because they did come there, like, you don't know how far they travel. You don't know how long they wait. Yeah.
We talked a lot about that early on. Actually, initially, we wouldn't take things off the menu because I was like, what if people won't get in line because something's not up there, and then they won't get to try something? So let's just try to, we're here, we can talk to them. Let's just try to convince people to try something. And then, so early on, we didn't take stuff off the menu. And then we started to, and then, you go out there and they're like, oh no, what is it?
Yeah, what's about to be wiped off?
Yeah.
You know, what's funny about that is that's really good feedback for us, because after a while, like I would erase certain things and everybody would be like, oh, that's no big deal. Well, you know, good thing we didn't bring a lot of them because no one else is going to buy it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or you have people like me who's just like, whatever, like I'll just try like anything, you know, where like sometimes if something don't have it, you'll be like,
right.
Yeah, we always feel bad.
Yeah.
We always feel bad when we sell out of stuff, especially like specials, but that's also another learning curve. Like early on, when we ran our first special, we really burnt ourselves because we made a lot of it, and we're like, this is going to be so popular, and everybody would come and they would talk about it, and then they would get a biscuit and gravy, and we're like, oh man, we should have just made more biscuits and gravy and just let the special be like a fun Instagram thing that people get them there, but they don't necessarily want to eat it when they get there.
Yeah. So, it is the STL Bucket List Show. So I wanted to get a few of your guys' ideal places in St. Louis. So let's just say It's a Saturday. You have nothing. Well, you guys do stuff every Saturday.
Yeah.
Let's say it's a
you're
Monday.
a little busy on
What's
Saturday.
your day off? Do you guys have a day off?
We don't because Tropical Moose is 7 days a week.
But what's the day that's like? I guess today is Tuesday.
Mondays and Tuesdays.
It's a holiday. I don't know. I'm like trying
But we always say
Anyways.
we always say it's
Pretend.
Saturday.
We do stuff some days.
You ain't got shit to do.
Yeah.
Which is never, because everybody we talk to has stuff to do all the time. But let's just say you guys are off one day and you have a place to go. You go, breakfast, lunch, dinner, some places, some parks. Like, what's your ideal? What's your ideal spots to go to?
Yeah,
in St.
breakfast is our favorite.
Okay.
I would start probably at Morning Glory.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
For
our favorite right
breakfast.
now for sure.
Really, Morning
Yeah.
Glory. Shout them
Yes.
out. We'll tag them in this too. For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do really like them. So I would start there, and I love the Botanical Garden. That's one of my favorite places to go in St. Louis. It's just beautiful.
You're just happy.
Yeah,
You're just happy when
Yeah.
you're there.
Yeah,
I
you're just
mean,
happy. Yeah.
So much to see. It's beautiful.
It is, and it's like every time you go, it feels different. Even
Yeah,
though
it
I think
does.
it's kind of the
Yeah,
same,
it
but it
does.
does.
You're like, oh,
And they're
this
doing
is
some
a
nice
new
remodels.
flower.
Yeah, they're gonna have
You
some
get to
cool,
see,
yeah.
you get to
What?
see
They're
new
doing some good
stuff.
remodeling over there.
Are there?
Remember
Oh,
when we
yes,
walked
yes,
in?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I have not been in a while. We have not had a day off in a while.
Y'all take a
Mike.
day off.
Take a day.
Where would you start?
Well, I mean, breakfast is easy, but if I would like right now, if we could go do something, I would do Union Station, happy hour, do the light show. Have you guys ever done the light shows there?
Yeah.
We got married in the Grand Hall, so we love Union
Gorgeous.
Station.
Yeah,
We
Do a
did
light
it
show.
this past year, and it was.
it's
so cool.
I don't think a lot of
It's
people
like one
know.
of the biggest hidden gems.
I feel
in
like
St.
I
Louis,
feel
for
like a
sure.
lot
Yeah.
don't
We did it
either.
during Christmas though. I thought we did
Yeah,
the
they
Christmas
did
lights.
a whole Christmas light show. I know. I don't think people know. I mean, that building is so
Awesome.
amazing.
It's stunning.
Incredible, yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah,
Stunning.
and the light shows are. I think we talked to somebody there, and I think it takes the guy
a lot of
like
effort.
6 months to make just
Yeah.
one of them. I mean, they're like the most intricate.
Very intricate.
Yeah, and they like
yeah, that
break
is our
off.
favorite date. Our favorite date.
Yeah.
Is to get a cocktail
Aw,
there.
that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Happy hour there, yeah, and then maybe go eat dinner. Dinner, that's tough though.
Dinner.
Dinner,
Dinner
tough
is
one.
hard.
Yeah.
We're always like.
It's always different. Like we have our staple
know.
spots, but like it's
Yeah.
like Russell's because they're right by us.
They are
Like
good.
that's Russell's is a good spot for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or coffee.
Yeah. Yes,
No,
it
I would
is.
only think of them for
No,
They have a good
breakfast.
dinner.
They have
Really?
a really
I've
good
never
dinner.
been there for dinner.
Yeah.
Really good dinner, and they have a good cocktail menu too. But yeah,
Well, we really like Nikki Slices.
Oh yeah.
I haven't
But
tried.
okay.
We
that
just
yet.
had
Oh.
pizza for them.
But that's
for
just takeout
our team
only, right?
dinner.
Just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
he's
a
like
that's
real
at
low
home.
key. He's like kind of like a startup, like similar to how you guys
It
were. at
is
one
so
point,
good.
right?
Probably.
He just puts out an order on like Sunday, and then people order it, and then that's
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
next weekend.
Yeah.
But I
It
heard
is.
they're like that Detroit style. deep
It's
dish.
so good. Yeah.
They're so good.
And
We
it's
just
like
we
huge.
just had the
We just
team
had our
over.
team over this past Sunday and
Nice.
had
Just had
Nikki
them.
slices.
Yeah, I need to
We
try
did like
that.
a casual
We need to get him on
quarterly
here. I heard
review.
we need to get.
Oh, you
him.
should, yeah.
that'd be a fun episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his pizza is insanely good.
He's another guy that kills it with social. Like their brand is so
Yeah,
cool.
video
is
Like, you just
really
want
cool.
to eat their pizza because
Yeah.
it's so dope. Like,
it feels
yeah.
very exclusive. You know?
yeah, because I haven't
The
had
Pizza
pizza.
Club.
Come on now.
Yeah, you haven't even had it.
Yeah.
Right, I know. And you guys are saying you got to order like the week before.
Yeah, it's like a
I'm
pickup,
that's
but that's
gotta
like a startup.
order
Like
it.
eventually
Though.
he'll have a restaurant, you know. And
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you don't
if
know.
they-
Me,
I
yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
I don't know what his
We'll have
plans
to
are,
ask
but
him.
his
yeah.
I
Yeah, you'll have to
never even asked
have
him.
him
or
on an
talked
hour.
But that's
about
fun.
it.
So you guys take out. Or you guys like going? Because I guess you're so busy that you do
We're
take
so-
out a little bit
yeah,
more.
we
You're probably
do-
like
we
take out
really-
more.
And we like our couch a lot. Hanging out.
Yeah.
Just,
No, like we
We
got
do
salt
too.
and
if we ever
smoke
get the
other
chance
night.
to, we're vertical.
Yeah.
Just laying down.
That's kinda
Laying
weird
down,
that
watching
way.
a TV
No.
show or
Sit
something.
horizontal,
Last
actually.
weekend
Vertical.
we, yeah, I knew what you meant. I was picturing. I was picturing.
Always vertical.
We're always vertical. We want to be horizontal.
We
Yeah,
had
so
a-
sometimes it's like, going to a restaurant, you're like, oh man, I do want the food, but that I guess was another good thing about COVID is everybody adapted and you can get anything now.
You can get great food and you
Yeah.
can get drinks. Like you can
Yeah,
get like
you
a
can
carton
get drinks.
margarita.
That is
Oh,
cool,
that
yeah.
was the best when you could do
Yeah.
like to go cocktails.
Oh my
and
gosh, yeah.
a pitcher of sangria to go.
That reminds me of Uncle Julio's. You guys, that
We
place is
just
pretty
went
good.
there
Yeah, we just went
on
there.
Saturday night.
Had the chocolate
3 days
pinata.
ago.
from
Oh,
there.
those things look
Crack the
fun.
chocolate
Oh, that's
pinata.
cool.
It's very cool.
Okay.
Uncle
Yeah.
Julio's had this El Jefe margarita, and this thing was hot. Like it was like had a jalapeno in it with like 4 different tequilas,
Oh my
and
god.
like
Man.
the black pepper
It's a
salt.
limit to
Oh,
2.
yeah. You
can only buy 2 of them.
Only have
wow.
2.
Yeah,
I'm
Like when a
"Ugh."
restaurant says you can only buy 2, like of
Yeah.
course they want to sell more. If they
Yeah,
can.
for
Right.
sure.
They're like, no.
But no, they give
It's
you the shaker
delicious.
bottle because then you can pour the rest in. So it was like 2 cocktails in
An
one.
experience.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were good.
good.
They were good. They had good food. I was just eating
Very
the
good.
leftovers. We just went there this weekend.
Everything that like
Mexican
walked by our
Yeah, I
table,
love
we were
Mexican
like,
food.
Cherokee Street, La Balasinas. They
Yeah.
got
Oh, there's
really good
so
street
many
tacos.
awesome places.
El Bronco, like those street tacos. Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh. I'm getting hungry. We need to get sponsored by them so we can get some tacos on the set.
Yeah, there you go.
Tacos on You're a taco
But yeah,
head.
other than that, I mean, that's you got anything?
I have some.
Go ahead then, girl.
Wrap up,
Go ahead then, girl. So this is what it's like working with your wife. Oh my.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk
yeah.
about that. How the dynamic, like what's it like working with
Yeah.
your best friend?
It is very fun. And we definitely have our moments, I think. But
As do we.
we've got different skill sets.
Yeah.
So like together we're so good.
Balance really
Yeah.
well.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I'm better probably at like the paperwork and that sort of stuff. You're definitely better at the food side of things.
The physical labor.
Lifting
Picking
heavy
things
Also
stuff.
known as.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're like we should start a moving company because we're so good at moving and packing and
Yeah.
traveling
Yeah.
stuff.
Quickly and
Yeah.
efficiently.
Yeah, I
it's-
mean that's
yeah.
what catering is.
I think
Yeah.
it's an adjustment. I mean, well, now working with
Mhm.
your spouse, it's, and you're seeing your spouse in like a different way.
You do. It's,
That-
Yeah.
And I have to say, it's been cool seeing Mike like with our team, and he does such a good job of, making sure everyone's doing well and
leadership
happy
role,
And,
yeah.
and it's really cool. It's really cool to watch you do that.
Thanks.
Aw.
It's fun.
Yeah. No, I agree. It is like whenever I go to his office and like just see like when you're managing like everyone, I'm like, go you. Look at this. It's just fun. And then like,
Yeah.
it's cool because like, like we have STL Bucket List, but like I'm a teacher. So that's my primary focus. But obviously now it's summertime. So like I get to go to the office with him and like it's just fun to see him in action where like instead of,
To
at
show her
dinner.
that I have a real job.
Well,
Right.
no.
Really just to show her
instead
that,
of
like,
at
hey, I do
dinner
have
when
a
we're
job.
talking and he's telling me things, I get to
Right.
see it in action. Like it's just
Yes.
different.
It is
So,
different.
yeah,
I don't always
It's like
drink beer
different
at 1
hats.
o'clock on Tuesdays.
No,
but-
Yeah,
not
right.
always. But when
I do
you
it citywide.
do, when you do it
Yeah.
citywide. And then the last thing I guess I'll wrap up with is like, what advice would you guys give to like someone, an entrepreneur, like someone who's wanting to like take the leap of faith?
Good question.
Put SOPs, processes in
You'll
place.
save yourself a lot of time.
Have written processes, standard operation procedures. Like I would say written processes, recipes, anything written
Mhm.
that you can duplicate or replicate or scale
When new
easily.
people come in. Like,
Yeah.
I think I would say if you have an idea on something, figure out a way to put it
Make it
out
happen.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we started this whole thing with Mike's tip money from being an Emo's delivery driver.
It was like
Which was-
$1,850.
Yeah.
Shout
So,
out.
yeah,
That's
he-
awesome.
Shout out Nemos.
He saved, he
That's
saved
so
it all
cool. I
up.
didn't
So
know that.
you don't need to start with a ton of money.
Yeah.
And we
just do
certainly
it.
didn't
That I
when we
s-
first started.
That would honestly, before written processes, my best piece of advice would be to go do it. Like, don't plan yourself or over legitimize your business into something that you're never gonna actually take action on. My sister and I did that with our wound care company. We had like this phase 1, this phase 2, this 3, and we spent so much time making all these plans, and we wanted to do telehealth and like all this big stuff with data and technology, and we never did the thing. And so
Never did
Yeah,
it.
always do the
Yeah.
thing.
just go do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just start.
Just-
Like,
Yeah,
just
just
start.
start.
Yeah.
And fail, and then start again, and then fail.
Yeah.
And start again.
And it's
fail.
not going to be perfect.
And that's
You
a big
never-
thing. You
it will
don't need
never
money.
be
Most
perfect.
businesses, you don't need that much money. Like surprisingly, talking to some people. Now, of course, there are businesses like like big companies like that you were talking about, but like for what you guys are doing, like you don't need that much experience. You just you just have to just do it.
Yeah.
Just do
You
it.
can
and
prove a
see.
concept with a very small amount of resources.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
the
then just
farmers
keep-
markets are a great way to test it out
Yeah.
and see if people like it. Because the barrier to entry is really low. I mean, both at Kirkwood and Tower Grove, like you don't have to have a vehicle. They
Yeah.
do have food trucks there, but you don't have to.
Mhm.
And you can just have a booth.
Stand.
And-
it's very
whatever.
inexpensive. I think I've heard from
It is,
from
yeah.
people to get in front of that many people.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
many
That's
people.
what I love about farmers markets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and that speaks too to like the variety of the people that are at the farmers markets too. There's like so many different types of people. There's something for everybody. You
Mhm.
can test different things out. Like we were talking about sampling product, and
Mhm.
it's a great place to sample because there's a crowd for everything.
Right.
There's all different kinds of stuff. So Yeah, it's great for that. And you meet people, like network with all the vendors, get to meet people, help them out. They'll help you out,
Yeah.
work with each other on different stuff. We had a lot of success just making friends in this business.
Yeah.
You know, other
For
people
sure.
who started around the same time or were vending together.
Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
advice. There's so many farmers markets too. I mean, we have a guide on Bucket List of all. We do of
the
all the
farmers
farmers
market.
markets.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, there's
There
one
are
in
a
Lake
ton.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
There's Soulard.
New
There's Tower.
City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's plenty
Ferguson.
of farmers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Soulard, I love Soulard.
Soulard's
I love their
awesome.
setup. Their setup.
and
Yeah,
even like
Soulard
Tower
is very
Groves,
cool.
there's the Tuesday one where it's
I love the
not
Tuesday
vegan
one because we live
Tuesday
there,
one
so it's
is
just
cool.
chill. It's
It's
way
a little
more
more
chill.
laid back.
Like
Yeah.
Saturday, if you don't get there early, like it is.
Oh, it's
busy.
packed.
Crazy.
When we
I
went,
know.
it was like a beautiful afternoon. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen it this busy before. I think
Well, and
we
I-
saw you, and I was like, we were
Yeah.
like, hey.
I think they did a really good job this year with that food court setup too, because
It's
last
smart.
year it was weird.
It was all
Well, on
everything
Tuesdays, they
was
set up
all
on the
spaced
street right
out
there.
rather
Yeah.
than like one spot at one point. Like everything
Yeah, on
was kind of
Saturdays.
in between. Like
Mhm.
you could buy like a basket, and then there was like a food truck, and it's like it's just
Yeah.
nice, and everything's
Mhm.
in the
Easy to
same
find.
And then there's
spot.
a
Yeah.
kids area over there too, and then they have
Yeah.
the beer tent over there, so
Yeah.
it just all
Music
works
in the
out.
middle. It's a
Um,
great setup.
It's such a cool asset that St. Louis has.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's
one
really
of my-
neat.
my
Tower
happy
Grove.
things to do. It's
Absolutely.
just farmers markets.
Yeah,
I love
us
them.
too.
Yeah.
We
It's
try to
really
shop
nice.
there. We try to get vegetables at least from some of those farmers and like some
That's
of those
what we
people
do.
because
That's
And if
good.
we can't find anything,
get some salsa from there. We get,
I make homemade salsa.
Ooh,
Well,
yum.
it's
That's my
crazy.
hidden talent, guys.
I
If
love
you
it.
see in a couple years,
If you
my
see
salsa
us-
business,
Try it.
If you see us, keep your mouth shut.
I'll come
funny.
and bring you first
Oh, yeah.
try.
Yeah, we would
but
love it.
Yeah, you can
I
be
mean,
my testers.
You know, we met those the Jack Salsa, like they're killing it. Like
Oh, yeah, their
that
salsa's
started
fire,
yeah,
too.
it's amazing. They got all different. They're in like Fresh Time, all these different
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
Salsa.
The annex, I know they're at. But that's the other thing too about the farmers markets that's really cool is you really get to see like all of St. Louis. And
Yes.
it's only people that make that happen. Like
Yeah.
the Tower Grove Farmers Market, there's 200 something vendors. All those tents are set up in the morning, taken down in the afternoon. The
A lot
Kirkwood
that goes
Market,
into it.
I'm
Summit
sure, yeah.
Summit does like pumpkin patches, and they build a playground for like 3 months of the year with. It's just crazy what they do. They do so much.
It takes
stuff.
people.
It takes people. Yeah.
So that was one last thing I wanted to ask you guys before we head off is the St. Louis community. Without them, you guys wouldn't be on this podcast right now, because they, you've been supporting
Right.
you guys. So like, tell us a little bit about the STL community, like your customers, but then also like some mentors or other business owners you guys have met along the way that have maybe helped you guys, and just tell us a little bit about what St. Louis means to you.
Yeah. I mean,
Means a lot. I mean,
it does mean a lot. Yeah. And it makes those, overnight shifts when you see all the people every, Saturday morning really enjoying their food and having fun. It makes it all worth it.
and we
even-
take. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and the St. Louis community is incredibly supportive of
Very community
of
driven
all, really
already.
all small businesses.
Absolutely.
Local
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah.
And people care about, buying local, eating local.
That's so true.
Well, and I mean, it just like it speaks to how we were able to do as much as we were able to do, like with John and Nancy, John helped us with the food trailer. If we had to wait for companies back then to work on our food trailer, it would have taken a lot longer, probably would have been more expensive.
Yeah.
It would have been more difficult. They would have not done it the way we wanted it as much as,
Mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, that speaks volumes. And then just the community showing up every week it's crazy, really. And we talk about it all the time with our team about how like it's our job to really nurture that relationship by putting out a product that continues to like enhance those positive memories from childhood that get you excited about the big sandwich or like the big piece of sausage or that perfect biscuit inside with the egg patty and the aioli or whatever
Keep
it is.
going,
Like,
keep
Yeah.
going.
that perfect bite.
Paint
Close
the
my eyes
picture.
right now.
it's like it's our job, and food is such an emotional thing. We talk about all the time how it's like our job to like nurture that and respect that and really take care of
Mhm.
the customers and put them first and put out new specials that people want to see and continue to have fun on our own and learn and grow. So
And
it's
I-
everything,
Yeah.
really.
I would think the biggest mentors probably have been Ray.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wanna talk about it or not?
Well, the former head chef at Beffa's was we actually lived in the same community growing up, went to the same schools. He passed in January. Yeah, they started sourcing our biscuits like what, January of 21.
Yeah. So
Early on, we went and did a collab.
Yeah, Mike grew up in Belleville, where Ray grew up, and
Knew the family growing up. I didn't.
yeah, and he reached out.
Ray was older. He was in one of my older sisters' class. I have 4 older sisters, and knew the second oldest. And just early in the business, really brought me in.
Very, very early. I think it was like November of 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a couple months.
And he was like the first person really in the industry to reach out to us about just like helping and wanting to do a collab.
Collaborating. We went in and did a collab our first week working with them.
Wow.
And it went
so
great.
well.
So we did it at Beffa's. I think it was a fried chicken biscuit sandwich and a sausage, egg, and cheese with it.
Fermented peach pepper.
Yeah.
Or pepper jam.
Yeah, pepper jam.
He just
that he
took an interest in your guys' business.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
a lot of times when you're
Yeah,
a
he
startup,
did.
it's just very difficult. So I'm sorry to hear that, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. He's just
It's
like
very
really-
special to me at the time that he passed, and we actually were just starting to get really close. Like I'd deliver biscuits and hang out and talk and watch him, cook. And
Yeah, I think we really learned. You especially really learned a lot from him, and
he was helping me plan the restaurant and
yeah,
a lot of stuff.
yeah. So he gave us a lot of good advice. I think he's probably the person in the industry that had the biggest impact on us.
Definitely. And then there's other people too. Actually the guy who owns Sia's Italian Ice. I don't know if you guys have ever seen their stuff in like Whole Foods. We partner with them on the side too. We actually manufacture and co-package their ice for them. So we share some
in
facility
exchange for
space.
storage.
You're like, yo, I'll help you move.
Like
You
A
help
lot
me.
of
Yeah.
storage. Though.
Oh, and
a
yeah.
lot of
A
storage.
whole
But you
base
help
of
them a
cool
lot
stuff.
too, and like,
Yeah.
and people that have been in business for so long, like they've been through so much more than like the 2 years, like obviously, but like you said, like just learning from these people that have done it and have been where you've been, and they're at where you want to be at.
Those experiences are huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially when you see somebody who does it really well, and then you get great learning, and you can kind of like bridge that into your processes too,
Take it
and
with
improve
you.
yourself.
Yeah, the processes. So hey guys, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming
Yeah,
on.
this
If
was
you
Thank
want
you
to,
for having us.
if you want to tell people, your website, how to support
can
on
find
social,
you.
where you guys, I know you guys we're gonna be releasing, everything about your guys' grand opening, all that. So we'll keep everybody updated. But if you guys just want to shout out to the camera, like
Yeah.
social medias and stuff. So he said,
Right.
hey,
Honeybees
one?
BG.
Anything to look out for coming up?
We have
and-
every Saturday Kirkwood Farmers Market and Tower Grove Farmers Market. Our Instagram handles
Honeybees BG.
at Honeybees BG, Facebook too, and our website I think is the same.
Yeah.
honeybeesbg.com.
And every Saturday you can find us at Tower Grove and Kirkwood Farmers Market, and very soon our restaurant in Kirkwood.
And actually also the first Sunday of every month we do Piper Palm House brunch with Four Hands,
okay.
and usually Balkan Treat Box
Yes.
is there. Strange Donuts was there one time. Tropical Moose is going to be there from now on. Last
Seen
time,
Punch 5,
Oh,
kombucha
good.
was
yeah,
there.
yeah,
They do
good
really cool stuff.
Yeah,
And that's
they have
through
interesting
September.
flavors too.
Yeah, they've really.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's through September? Or is it
Through September,
September
yeah.
1st or 2nd?
I
Like
think
the first week of
October.
September.
Oh,
Is it
October.
I have the little card.
It
at
also
home.
may be.
We'll
one
be
of
there
those things-
regardless.
Yeah.
If it's on the schedule, we'll be
Yeah.
there.
We'll be there.
It may be September too, but also maybe we're
Add another
if
one.
it goes
Why
well,
not?
they may do October because St. Louis weather. I mean, you never know.
It'll probably be nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
That'll be nice.
Shout out to Piper Palm House. That's an amazing event. So
yeah, it is.
thank you guys so much for coming on.
Yes.
As always, we just want to, show love to our presenting sponsor, the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis, the largest public funder of arts and arts programs in St. Louis. We even got this nice little cup from them right here. We always want to show love to them. And our friends at Half Coast, shout out Matt in the back, cutting up the 1s and 2s. And our friend from STL Bucket List, Haley, out here shooting some photos. So I really appreciate you sitting through the episode and kind of getting a behind the scenes look of it. So until next Wednesday.
Peace out, St.
Have a
Louis.
good night. Yeah.